What's going on, everybody? Just here doing some analysis and predictions of Saturday's pay-per-view. Should be pretty good. Should be a pretty good card, possibly the biggest card that they've had on Fight Island so far. Um, a couple of fighters did miss weight. I know that a couple fighters did miss weight. I know that Tugagov lost. He missed weight by 5 pounds. Um, Trying to remember who else. I think it might have been Shane Young or one of the other guys who missed it by 5 pounds as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the card up, and then I'm gonna have all the fights listed right here, and I'm gonna break down each fight from the fighters I know. There are a few fighters that I haven't watched yet, but I did do a little bit of research and a little bit of background on who they are and how they fight and their history with fights and stuff. So, first fight we're going to do is Diego Sanchez versus Jake Matthews. Um, so, if you're a fight fan and you don't know who Diego Sanchez is, then you probably shouldn't be listening to this. But Diego Sanchez has been around for forever. He's been he's been fighting across multiple divisions. I think he started in lightweight, and I think he's fought at middleweight before, but now he mainly fights at welterweight. Um, his really good wins over Nick Diaz, and he also beat Mickey Gall, where he was a really, really big underdog. He's just a wild guy. He's a wild fighter, wild striker, got a decent ground game. Um, Versus Jake Matthews. He's a pretty good overall fighter. I haven't seen anything too crazy for him. He's got a pretty good ground game. Uh, some of his fights, both of these guys, a lot of their fights go to decisions. I see this fight going to a decision. Diego Sanchez has been pretty slow and is not slow as in he doesn't bring the fight, but uh, he's been a lot more calculated and a lot more defensive his past few fights. So that should be an interesting one. I don't really know Brad Rydell or Alex De Silva too well, so I'm gonna skip that one. For Zubaira versus Hakeem, um, Zubaira is part of Khabib's camp. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Most guys coming out of Russia with a really good grappling team. A lot of sambo guys. Hakeem is a very good striker, very powerful for his size. Uh, Zubaira was when he was on the come up. I think before he lost his last two fights, he had a lot of hype around him. I still think he's really good. He did miss weight by 5 pounds. He came in at 150, which is 4 pounds over the featherweight limit for a non-title fight. Um, their records are both pretty good, as you can see. Zubaira is only 19-4 with one no contest. Hakeem is 11-1. So experience-wise, as far as pro MMA fights, Zubaira's got the advantage. Um, as you can see, Zubaira has a lot of decision wins. So, and most of Hakeem's wins are, finishes. So, Thomas, I'm gonna ignore that one. So it seems that Hakeem will be going for the finish. I think Hakeem's gonna bring the fight to Zubaira, which should be interesting. It should make for a good fight. On to the next one. Oh, and as far as the winner of this fight, I got Hakeem winning by stoppage. I think Hakeem finishes him either round two or round three. And for Catlin Vieira versus Sajara Eubanks, I think Sajara Eubanks just fought, so she should be pretty fresh. She shouldn't have to cut too much weight, which is good. Catlin Vieira is very good as well. She's very good grappler, very good ground game. I've watched her fight a few times. She's taller. She only has 1 inch reach advantage, but when you have a 4 or 5 inch height advantage, then that does hold some weight. I see this one going to a decision. I see Sajara bringing the fight to Catlin and really trying to pressure her with strikes and boxing. Sajara is very boxing heavy. And then Caitlin, I see playing defense and, you know, either trying to attempt a submission, attempt a takedown, maybe doing some work in the clinch. And I see Caitlin taking it by a controversial decision. That's what I have that one as. Kai Kara France versus Brandon Royval. This should be a really good one. Kai Kara France is one of the most exciting fighters I've ever seen. He definitely brings the fight. He's super fast and very active. He's a cardio machine. I mean, as you can see, I mean, he throws 14 strikes per minute. You know, that's insane. So neither of these guys really go for a lot of takedowns. So it should be an exciting fight on the feet. I got Kara France winning this one by either TKO or a decision. I think he's just going to throw more volume. I think he's going to move forward more, which looks way better in the judges' eyes. And that should be a good one. So before I get into these last few fights on the main card, I have just wanted to give a little background about me. I've been watching UFC and jiu-jitsu competitions now for a long time. I wrestled in high school, was not very good. About 3.5, almost 4 years ago, I started training at what is currently known as Black Label Martial Arts out in Charleston, South Carolina. The head coach there, the owner, is, you know, he's a genius. He's been doing this for a long time. Some of the best instruction out there, and the other coaches there as well are just world class. And the fighters that we have there who also help teach are amazing. So before I started training, I would just watch a lot. When I was stationed overseas in Okinawa, they had the fights on for free for active duty guys. So we'd all get together and watch the fights. And I was the one who really just kind of sat there and just studied and tried to break everything down. And once fights were over, I would Google what these words meant and what these transitions or what these positions meant. And then once I started training, now don't get me wrong, I'm by no means a fighter, amateur, professional, any sort of mixed martial arts fighter. I've had injuries this past year that has really kept me away from it. But I still am very close with the gym and very close with the guys who train there. So that's just a little bit of background on me. So yeah, the light heavyweight title. I don't know why they have interim title on here. I'm pretty sure this is for the actual light heavyweight title because John Jones vacated. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure John Jones did vacate, and I think this is for the legitimate title. I'll start off with Jan Blachowicz. He's very good. He's very powerful. He's a little older, so I'm not sure how that will play into 37 versus 30. I'm not sure how that's going to play into it, but I have seen him struggle a few times with pace, and when he gets into those very, very grueling grudge matches, I have seen him sort of lose pace a little bit throughout the fight. Dominic Reyes. Back to John, actually. The last fight I saw John, actually, I watched this whole fight was when he KO'd Luke Rockhold. Now, I am a big Luke Rockhold fan. I love his ground game. I love his jiu-jitsu. I hope he comes back. But, yeah, last time I saw him fight, I was in Florida for the Jorge Masvidal. It was the same card that Jorge Masvidal fought Ben Askren and John Jones fought Thiago Santos. That was a really good card. And Luke was doing well. He was holding him in the clinch. It was Luke's first fight at light heavyweight, so it looked good. He looked strong. He looked healthy. And then on the clinch break, which so many people forget to put their hands up after a clinch break, but as soon as the clinch break happened, Jan threw a hook and landed right on Luke's chin and knocked him out cold. So that was a very good performance. And then after that, Jan fought Corey Anderson and beat him up real good. So Um, yeah, Jan Blachowicz versus Dominic Reyes should be a good one. Dominic Reyes, I think, won his last fight against John Jones. A lot of people were saying that the reason John Jones got the decision was because, who looked like they could, at the end of the fight, who looked like they could go for, 10 more rounds. I get that. It is what it is. But at the same time, you know, that's not what happens. In my opinion, that's not what happens. The fight doesn't go on for 10 more rounds. I think that Dominic Reyes was the more active fighter. I think he landed more shots. I think he landed more damage. Um, and I think he was just, I thought he was better during the fight. And I think that I think he should have gotten the win. Breaking down the UFC. Might be on later. Got guys hitting me up wanting to play Warzone. Might do that in a bit. But I think Dominic Reyes won that fight. I think he should have been given the belt, but it is what it is. I think Dominic Reyes wins this one. I think he finishes him. I think he gets Jan Blachowicz to the ground, gets in a dominant position and lands ground and pound. I think Jan might get up a few times, and I think he might make this fight standing. But I think Dominic Reyes is going to be like the next like long reigning light heavyweight champion, in my opinion. They got some good guys in that division, that are on the come up. So we'll see. I like the light heavyweight division right now. I think it's exciting like it used to be back when they had Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, and Tito Ortiz and Rampage. Back when they had those huge names in there. I like where the light heavyweight division's at right now. I think it's good. I think it's really good. So yeah, I got Dominic Reyes winning by referee stoppage. I'm gonna go with round three. Round 3 or round 4 is where I see that happening. And then you have the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. That is going to be, I think that's going to come out as fight of the year. I think. Now, this is a toss-up for me. I'm having a very hard time analyzing this one because the equalizer in this fight, in my opinion, is Yoel Romero. Both of these guys fought Yoel Romero. Both of them beat Yoel Romero. Now, the difference is how they beat Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero fights the same fight every time. He doesn't. He fights the same way every time, which is it's insane because he's won a ton. And he's also lost a few. And, pretty much every fight that he's lost, it's always come with some controversy at the end. Whether it was because people are afraid to fight Yoel Romero. He's a freak. The one person, though, that was not afraid to walk Yoel Romero down and really, truly engage with him was Tim Kennedy. And we see how that went. That was a long time ago. And Paulo Costa. This guy right here. He brought the fight to Yoel, was able to withstand the punishment and able to withstand the devastating power that Yoel has, and won the fight. It was a decision. When Yoel fought Israel Adesanya, a lot of people thought it was a boring fight. Yoel both fought these guys the same way. So Yoel is very reserved. He lays back, basically lulls you to sleep, and then explodes and, tries to kill you, pretty much. And Paulo Costa took his shots. We haven't really seen Israel take a ton of shots yet. I think his toughest fight, for a fact, his toughest fight so far is Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum is not Paulo Costa. Kelvin Gastelum's a lot smaller. He hits almost as hard, in my opinion, but doesn't necessarily bring the ferocity that Paulo Costa brings. And people are saying, Israel is going to pick him apart. Yeah, that could very well happen, but At the same time, Paulo Costa's also fought Uriah Hall. Granted, Uriah Hall's a little older, a little bit more seasoned, a little bit slower, maybe. I don't know. Um, but Uriah Hall was also picking him apart. Uriah Hall also walked him down and was throwing jabs, picking him apart, busting his face up, hitting shots to the body. A lot of people thought he won that first round, and Paulo took it on the chin, still kept coming forward, started landing some crazy hard shots, and showed he basically showed that he could walk through technical striking, technical boxing, and finish the fight still. And he finished Uriah Hall, hit him with a clean body shot, and then just dropped him. So I see this fight playing out. It's kind of a toss-up for me, honestly. I think the only way Adesanya wins this fight is by finishing Costa. I think he has to knock him out, or basically just wear him out. I think he has to wear him out the whole fight, make it a tough fight, really test Costa's cardio, and make it a dogfight. Really, I truly think that's how I think that's how he wins. I think Costa wins by knocking Adesanya out, or I think Costa takes the decision, because I've never seen Costa step back. I've never seen him not move forward. I've never seen him not eat a punch. We know that Costa can take shots and take damage. We just haven't seen that from Adesanya yet. So it's going to be a good fight, very interesting. But like I said, I think the only way Israel wins this fight is by knocking him out, and I think that Costa could win the fight via decision or knockout. We also haven't seen a lot of Costa's ground game either. Apparently Costa has trained jiu-jitsu before. If you look at his KO percentage, is 92%. Granted, 13-0 versus 19-0. He does have one submission victory. He does have a rear naked choke victory against somebody. So who knows? I think it'll be good. I'm definitely buying the fight. I'll probably only watch the main card just because there's also football that I want to watch that night. So I'll definitely be live during the fight. Talking to people about it. Getting everybody else's opinions on it and seeing how my predictions and my decisions, played out. But yeah, this is a toss-up. This is a really good fight. I'm really excited for it, and I think both guys should bring it. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it.